Another statement from Rangers Football Club, and this one beggars belief. And there was a party after all at Easter Road on Saturday, just not in the South Stand. We also discussed McGinn's future and whether Ali Crawford would fit in Easter Road. Hello and welcome to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
And Stephen.
Hello.
So we're going to start off with the news today, and kicking off with the news, we've got two bits of news regarding John McGinn. The first bit of news is that he's been nominated for Player of the Year along with Chris Boyd, James Forrest and Scott Brown. Stephen, first off, do you think that he is deserving of the nomination?
Yeah, I think...
Or would you say is there anyone else, if we're looking at Hibs, that would be
obviously
ahead of him?
Dylan McGinn, I would say, should have been nominated before him, but I think with McGinn's Scotland appearances and stuff as well, I think that obviously that's brought him to the fore, I suppose, in terms of a Scottish Player of the Year.
Because I mean, you and me are going to the Hibs Player of the Year on Sunday.
Yep.
And I'm very confident that it'll be Dylan McGinn
that
wins the Player of the Year.
Yep.
So it's a bit weird that if Dylan McGinn wins it, and then it's John McGinn that either gets nominated or does get nominated, but could potentially win the PFA Player of the Year.
Like I says, I think that McGinn's the name that everybody recognises with Hibs now.
And I'm not having a go at McGinn's performance, especially on Saturday. Saturday McGinn was outstanding.
I've made a few comments obviously through the season about him, but I think at the start of the season he was nowhere near the form that he was that won the championship last season. I think that based on that it should be McGinn, because he's been a outstanding performer all season. Maybe had one or two bad performances in 34. Yeah. So I would have put McGinn out there, but fair enough, and obviously as a Hibs fan you hope McGinn wins it.
So it is McGinn that has been nominated, and he's up against Chris Boyd, James Forrest and Scott Brown. So Chris Boyd, obviously 34 years of age.
Never won it.
He's never won it before, 34 years of age, and scored 16 goals, league goals this season. And James Forrest, has scored his 16 goals in all competitions this season from the wing, and helped Celtic towards another title, probably another treble. And Scott Brown captain in the side towards another treble. How do you rate John McGinn's chances in that?
I think he'll be up there. I think he's got a better chance than Forrest. He's played a bigger part, I'd say, in Hibs' rise to challenging for second place than Forrest has for Celtic winning another title. I'd fancy Scott Brown just on his reputation. People who have thought about it throughout the season, I would say Boyd is deserving of it. I mean, to be 34, scoring 16 goals, scored that double that beat Rangers at Ibrox.
Yeah. Played a massive part in getting his team where they are now.
Yeah,
both
100%.
On and off the field.
So, I mean, you could say it's the four best candidates in the league.
Yeah.
Out with McGinn.
I have to say, I mean, I think because the Hearts achieved nothing because of their positions elsewhere in the pitch, so attacking wise, I think Christoph Berra could be a bit frustrated not to be in the nominations, because what he has done for the team defensively, especially at home, they went on that clean sheet run as well. I think he's there's no denying it. He's a great player, and Hearts are lucky to have him, and it's unfortunate for us that he does play for Hearts. But anyway, I think if Hearts had done something this season, he would be nominated.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But luckily for us, Hearts have been rubbish. So, and long may it continue. So next bit of news with John McGinn. He's also came out and said he doesn't need to leave Hibs this summer, and that he's happy at Hibs. And it would need to be something special for him to move on. Stephen, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, if something special's a contract from any English Premier League or Championship team, then he'll be gone.
I don't think a Championship team would be enough for him. I think he's kind of thinking, nah, I'm in the Scotland setup. I think it's either Celtic with Champions League football or down south like a West Ham or.
I think, talking about it rationally, a Championship team maybe like West Brom who are going down could be enough to persuade him. I think obviously if it is a Championship team, it'll need to be the right manager that suits him, because he will obviously want to be with a team that's got the best chance of getting into the Premier League. If he goes to a Premier League team right now, he's not going to maybe I'd say a top 10 club.
No, so I think he's looking at like say Crystal Palace,
but then
West
again,
Ham.
you've got Burnley there. Burnley would be a good fit for McGinn.
They've got a really strong midfield though. I mean, I don't want to knock John McGinn, but they've got Defoe who plays for Belgium.
Yeah.
Cork,
yeah,
who is sensational. So and really fits their team well. But I mean, I'm sure if that's the offer he got, Dice is a manager who gets the best out of his players, so would be fantastic for McGinn's development.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that, to be fair.
It will be interesting to see what happens. I mean, he's obviously come out, he's said the right thing. I mean, Hibs fans have been waiting all season for him to say that. Now will he stick a 4-year deal down before he goes?
I think he will sign a deal come the end of the season.
I think he'll need to, and I wish he would do it before the end of the season, because it might encourage McGinn to do the same for the club. Again, another player that's guaranteed to go, another player that's got the same ambitions as John McGinn. He'll want to go down south, test himself. No point in him going back to Celtic. He's already been there and done that, and he's won a league title with them before he came to Hibs.
He never really played a part in it, whereas now he potentially could.
But I mean, the thing is, if Celtic go for McGinn, they're not going to take both of them.
Yeah.
Would they use McGinn as a fallback? I don't think so, because he's too injury prone. Fair enough, he's had a good season this year, but who's to say that the first game of the season next year he's not going to end up pulling up?
But you could say that about any player.
Aye, no, well that's it. But I mean, you've got to look sort of proactively as well. And
anyway, talking about Celtic,
yep.
Celtic's captain's obviously Scott Brown. In the same article, John McGinn also played down comparisons with Scott Brown. So I wanted to say he's his own man, he's his own player. He got a bit frustrated with the comparisons. He really likes Scott Brown, they're good friends off the pitch, but when it comes to on the pitch, he feels that they're different players and he offers something different. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
And would you think
he's
people need to calm down with the Scott?
Much more attacking.
But to be fair, to play devil's advocate, so was Scott Brown. I mean,
he was.
You think of that game at the Ivan Spurrell hat-trick.
The thing is as well, Scott Brown's getting older as well. He's starting to slow down. He's playing a bit more like a pivotal role in the midfield. I like how this has turned into Celtic talk now, but like there isn't really any comparisons. There's comparisons between John McGinn and Scott Brown of 10 years ago, but I wouldn't say Scott Brown and now and McGinn.
Fair enough. So we spoke about McGinn potentially going. Obviously, just talking about McGinn, the possibility of him going. But Hibs are apparently interested in signing Ali Crawford. He's confirmed he'll be leaving Hamilton in the summer when his contract's up. So Hibs, we kind of already touched on this last week, but do you think this could be a good signing?
He's a player that I've kept tabs on when he was first breaking through at Hamilton. There was talk of him coming to Hibs when he was like 20, 21, I think. That all fizzled out when we went down. He didn't want to come down into the Championship with Hibs when Hamilton had managed to get into the Premier League. So it'll be a good signing, but it'll not be a signing to replace McGinn or McGinn. He'll do a job filling in there. I think Slivka's more a natural replacement for McGinn when he goes out.
So do you think it could be a case of, like, say, if one of them goes, Slivka comes into the starting lineup and Ali Crawford sort of deputises onto the bench, the squad.
This is also dependent on whether or not we get Scott Allen back next season.
I guess if Scott Allen doesn't come back, then we've got Ali Crawford and Swanson competing for that number 10 position.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
the goal scoring midfielder role. So, so it's good to see that the Hibs are already planning forward thinking. So, with them forward thinking, they're looking ahead to the Rangers game at the end of the season. Segue. And they, with ticket demand high and all 3 stands sold out, Hibs have now opened up the south stand to Hibs fans and cut Rangers allocation in half to 2,000 tickets. Right move by Hibs?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's what we've been looking for years for Hibs. Not fold into the old firm and showing that we can compete there. Obviously, the whole talk about it has been that we've never been able to fill our own stands, and that's why we've given the capacity of the south stand to away teams like Hearts, Celtic, Rangers, maybe Aberdeen to a degree, but they're not bringing that many fans down now as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the right move.
The only one I'm sort of worried about, I mean, Celtic, we don't get that many tickets anyway.
No.
So cut in half. Rangers, same again, we only get 900, cut in half. Aberdeen, they're not going to change it, so yeah, that'll be fine. The one I'm worried about is Hearts, because if we cut in half with Hearts,
then we're getting half.
Then we get half. I mean, it's hard enough to get a ticket for Tynecastle as it is, so imagine cutting it in half.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right.
Because I think it would be only the away season ticket holders that would then get a ticket.
Gets a better atmosphere as well against like Hearts when you've got the Edinburgh Derby on the go. You want as many Hearts fans filling that south stand as well, because then there's more fans to wave at as they're walking out the stand at half time.
Well, does that really make a better atmosphere if it's empty?
Well, it's good at a time. It's good at a time.
Anyway, Rangers also released a statement on that, but we will talk about that after talking about the Celtic game. So, the Celtic game on Saturday, fantastic win which keeps us in the hunt for second place and delays Celtic's title party. Dave, your quick overall thoughts on the performance?
Performance of the season, probably. One of the best performances I've seen in the last couple of years at Easter Road. It was brilliant. Fans were brilliant. There was just a good level of intensity throughout the whole game for the first minute though. So it was really good. You could see that our intent was there, like, straight away for kick-off.
And Stephen, I mean, we noticed that quite early on with Hibs starting with good pressure, and McGinn won the ball. I think it was off of Rogic quite early on, slipped it through to Kamberi. Maybe, it's fine with hindsight now we won the game, but I mean, Kamberi maybe could have done a bit better with the shot or tried to square it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's got that eye for goal now, and he's obviously keen to get them. So, I mean, there was an opportunity to square it as well, but I mean, the boy's looking for goals, so fair play to him. It's entitled to.
Aye. Next bit of action that was sort of noteworthy, I guess, was a Celtic attack, and it led to a double save for Marciano. Dave, what was your thoughts on Marciano's overall performance?
His performance was brilliant. Exactly what we know he can do. He's a good shot stopper, and his reaction times are rather ridiculous at times. So he obviously did good double saving, and he had a good second half save as well, which undoubtedly got us the win at the end of the day.
So next bit that came up was the goal. I'll ask for both of you's opinion on this. Stevenson's work rate. Stephen, what was your thoughts on Stevenson's part in the goal?
He's proven it all season. Like he's one of the box to box wing backs. Like he's
really suiting the wing back role, isn't
he? I think it's basically what he's been looking for since he had moved from midfield back to defence. And he's got that freedom under Lennon. He's got fast players around him. He's actually starting to find a bit of a pass as well now. So, no, brilliant, fantastic this season.
And the cross obviously led to McLaren tapping it in at the back post. Dave, what was your thoughts on McLaren's attacking positional awareness and the finish itself?
It was brilliant. It's just exactly what Lennon said and what we've touched on in previous pods was, it's just in the right area, right time. He's like that kind of fox in the box, and what we're missing for the first 6 months of the season. So you've got the work rate in Kamberi, and McLaren seems like the more, like, obviously his work rate is brilliant as well, but seems like quite clever got a bit of experience, so he just he knew exactly where he was going. It wasn't like it was just a cross to nothing, and that it was a well worked goal as soon as Stevenson had stuck his head in. So, aye.
Aye, like we said earlier, and fingers crossed that we do get a deal across the line for him. So the next bit was Hanlon had a header just before half time. Would have been nice to go in 2 goals up, and I think we were all kind of talking at half time, a bit worried about Celtic coming back out a bit of a different animal in the second half. How do you both feel Celtic came out in the second half? Dave?
Well, I thought they showed quite a lot of intent to come back into the game. Obviously it was 1-0 and they brought on Sinclair at half time, which worried me because him running at Whittaker gives me the fear a wee bit. Whittaker actually did quite well to handle it, and then they brought on Edouard, who I think's a really good striker, and then Paddy Roberts. So they were kind of those three are the 3 attacking subs. You know what I mean? That's not a team that's just sitting there.
They're no short.
I've had a lot of stuff chucked at me like, oh, they were just lying down and that, but which is fine. It's people's opinions. It's banter and that, but I felt like the second half they did go for it with the changes that they made, but we dealt with it really well. The first 15 minutes of the second half, they put us under a bit of pressure and that, and then something just changed, and then we were the better team.
So next up was the goal that put us 2 up front, 2 in front. No wait, sorry, that's wrong. Next up, Boyle went on a good run, winning the ball in his own half and played it to Canberry. Again, Canberry going for goal. Don't want to be critical of a striker who's obviously got goals on his mind, but Stephen, with I think was it Swanson running on the outside, should he have slipped it, or was he right to go for a shot from 25 yards?
I think there are times where obviously passing the ball is a little better option. We've seen that with McLaren since he came in as well. He's maybe looked for a shot instead of a pass as well. So I think at this time of the season, I mean, obviously strikers, they want as many goals as they can get. Bit ambitious for 25 yards against Gordon the way that he's been playing, but he could have passed it to Swanson.
Aye. But the goal came next. He did pass it. Next time he was in last attacking third, and he found Slivka, who fantastic header in. What was your thoughts? I know we could go into the goal and all that sort of stuff. We'll come back to that in a second. But just quickly, what was your thoughts, Dave, on Boyle? I don't know if you've seen the highlights and seen it back. Do you think Boyle was trying to knock the ball to Canberra, or do you think he was trying to knock it around? I think it was at Tierney and put too much on the knock on.
Personally, well, straight in real time, I thought it was just a knock on, and he maybe put too much on it. And then my opinion doesn't really change that much when I have seen Sportscene. Canberra's good anticipation, see that is happening.
Yeah.
But I don't actually think it was meant for Canberra.
And Stephen, your thoughts on Slivka's header? Obviously, just returning from injuries. Only made 1 or 2 appearances recently, so
yeah, I think
good
that's
run to the box.
The main point. I mean, when a player comes back from injury, you don't know about how sharp they are and stuff, but he anticipated it well, and obviously the header was cracking. So, it was well deserved, and it's good to see him back in the team again as well.
And then the next up we had Boyle. Fantastic running, chasing down, I think, was it Hendry, and putting him under pressure, and then Hendry kind of left it. Boyle didn't, chased it down, kept it in, went on to keep it, and then it got cleared off the line. With the amount of fans coming along increasing, I think we're seeing an increase in kids coming along as well, and I think he's a perfect example for kids to show, to never give up, to keep chasing after the ball. So, brilliant stuff for Boyle there, and I'm really unfortunate not to add a third, although I had a bet on 2-1, so I'm not winning too much. And then Celtic's goal, Dave, could Whittaker and FA have done better?
Yeah, well, it goes. I think the whole play passes Whittaker by quite quickly, and then FA obviously tries to clear it, and then gets a wee bit unfortunate. It probably should have been a wee bit harder. But you can't really complain too much the way it fell. It was just one of them. It was a good finish, to be fair.
The only
He
thing
showed a
that
bit of composure.
the only thing that kind of got me was with Effie that once Edouard was 1-on-1 with the keeper, Effie just stopped and stood still.
Aye, he couldn't have got if there was a follow up. I did notice that as well.
Like if the ball hits off the post or the keeper makes a save, he just knew that Edouard was going to score, and fair play enough he did. But as a defender, you play until the whistle, you play until the ball's out of play. So yeah, we're just talking about Boyle there a second ago and never giving up on the ball. It was a bit to see Effie, although he was outstanding in the game apart from his kamikaze run, thinking he's Beckenbauer in the first half, which was nerve wracking. So both finishing up with the Celtic game then, man of the match.
My man of the match was probably Lewis Stevenson.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Stevenson for me as well.
I was thinking that.
Aye, all around for Stevenson. Good stuff. And quickly, what did you think the likes of Swanson who came in for Allen?
I thought he came into the game more and more as the game went on. I don't think at the first 15-20 minutes, I thought he was a wee bit standoffish. Yeah. And I don't know if he was told that, because it took probably the second half. What was the second half when he clattered Scott Brown? So I think maybe he had that message relayed to him. Well, quite possibly. It might just be a complete coincidence, but I think we were having the discussion in the stand at the time. It just felt like he was maybe a wee bit more reserved, but you know what I mean. You know what you're getting from him. He puts everything into everything. He is a one of our own. So I see him just quickly on the man of the match point as well. Everybody could have got it.
Yeah, aye.
Absolutely.
It was really nice to see
we picked Stevenson, but there's so many other people who have a different opinion, and they could talk to me for about a minute, and I'd be like, "Nah, you're right."
Nah, Boyle could be in my shout.
Yeah.
Canberry, aye. Hanlon was sensational, just so solid. Had nothing to do with the Celtic goal. It was on the other side. I think Hanlon had a really good performance as well. So yeah, definitely a few candidates. Fantastic team performance, and hopefully more of that, which we'll discuss the Kilmarnock game, which is up next. But before we get to that, Rangers decided to release a statement. We just mentioned in the news earlier on that Hibs have cut the allocation in half so they could sell the tickets to the Hibs fans, which, as it stands, as time of recording, I think there's like 60 tickets left, so they will be gone. We will sell out half that stand. So that side of it has been justified. I'll quickly just bring up the statement here. Key points they sort of saying, first and foremost, they were talking about the health and safety of fans. They also said about the loyal support from Rangers selling out away ticket allocations at stadiums for years. Stuff about coming up through the divisions, and about bear in mind Hibernian's decision when considering ticketing arrangements for future matches, both home and away. So, Dave, what was your thoughts on the Rangers statement?
So I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Gave it as much credit as it deserved. I burst out laughing. Thought it was fake to start with. And they're just a joke of a club. I don't know where they get their sense of entitlement from, but it's hilarious. I'll let Stephen talk about it, because I know he's actually quite a lot to say in it, so he can take the stage.
Oh no, it was absolutely laughable. Another Rangers statement, another laugh for Hibs fans, I suppose. It's been that case for years now. But when I was reading up on it at work, Evening News actually had a wee article on the best tweets regarding it. So they've actually categorised it as well. I'll just read a couple of them. So we've got some from Rangers fans, first of all. Atstrabane GSTQ. Hit them where it hurts, Bears. How dare they show such a lack of respect to the most successful team ever? What goes around comes around. Thanks for the clarity, Rangers. Right.
But the thing is, they're talking about hitting us more. They can't offer us any less than 900.
Exactly. Well, the fact is that they offer the bare minimum that the SPFL offer, which is 1.7%
Yeah.
of the ticket allocation. We are still giving them 10%. Like we could actually reduce that to a single row in the south stand if we wanted. Right. That's parity. Like we could actually give them like one row. So. Some of the other fans like had some crackers actually. First one, Rangers statement writers must get paid by the word, which makes sense.
I mean, this is what, their 643rd statement this year?
No, I think on the league table it's only shown as 10, but probably since 2016 you wouldn't be far off the mark. So, Jim Douglas, Rangers should move their statement releases to a subscription model. They're so unintentionally hilarious, I'd actually pay.
Rangers statement Patreon subscriptions.
It's actually amazing. And at Stramash, this coming from a club who houses the majority of their away fans in a pokey wee corner, a corner where you're pelted by coins, hot drinks and spat on for the best part of 2 hours. Outrageous hypocrisy from the genius PR team at Ibrox. Can't really fault that, to be fair. Eh? And
genius is a funny word to use.
Oh,
but
no.
Yeah.
But here come the jokes. So, at Old Firm Facts 1, congratulations to anyone who had beggars' belief in Rangers' statement tantrum bingo. And
when I seen the word "it beggars belief," I genuinely thought, no, this is a wind-up. This is like a Celtic fan-made thing.
David actually tweeted saying that he thought it was for some parody account as well.
Because there's a lot of things where like Celtic fans send you a link to something about this happening, and you click on it, and it's the classic BBC 14th of February when Rangers went into liquidation. So I thought it was something like that. It was something like a Celtic fan had made or something, but no.
Oh no.
Genuine statement.
And I think here's the best one, like, at goddamn pal, King passes it to Alistair Johnson, to Douglas Park, slips it to James Traynor, he edits it and it's live, and they've done it. Another statement at 10:20 on a Tuesday night. The fans are going wild. Oh, your beauty.
Very well thought out.
It was.
No, that was really good.
No, there was some belters, like, but I mean, just shows how much a joke club Rangers are. Eh?
And I think something that Rangers fans don't seem to realise is that this is something that Hibs are looking to do going forward for the likes of Aberdeen, possibly Hearts. That's a bit more of a debatable one because they want to ensure that Hibs get tickets to go there. But Celtic and Rangers as well. And the demand for tickets is growing. So why not have Hibs fans? We're not breaking any rules.
And the thing was as well, there was a good point on one of the articles I was reading about it as well. But it was basically stating about the fact that Hibs South Stand, it's actually designed to hold both sets of fans. The way that it's thought out, it's actually partitioned into two sections where you can put away fans and home fans and segregate it in a way that you've got security and stewarding in place where they aren't going to clash. You look at the fact that we had, was it Aberdeen had 2,000 allocation, and we had them next to us, and it was fine. And it's the exact same, like at Tynecastle, they had Rangers fans and Hearts fans in the same stand, perfectly fine. Like the Hibs
when
fans,
we go away to St Johnstone and things like that, yeah.
The fact is, like in the South Stand as well, Hibs fans that go into the South Stand, they come in for the east side, and the Rangers fans come in for the west side, or any away fans, they all come in for the west stand side of the South Stand. So, the fact that they're actually pulling stupid cards like safety and I mean, there was points made. Like, you look at the way that any away fans are treated at Ibrox. You get stuck in a corner, you get spat on for 2 hours. There
was the car park getting attacked.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
And they have the hypocrisy to come out and use the phrase health and safety. Absolute joke. But yeah, it gave us some laughs, and we put out a tweet asking for people's gift responses and stuff like that. That made my night last night. Everybody's responses, so everybody replied to that. Fantastic. And if anybody else hears this and wants to go look at on I think we've got one on the Facebook and one on Twitter. So if anybody wants to add some more in, it's makes my nights looking at them. Aye. Okay, so next up we'll talk about the Kilmarnock game. Dave's away now, he's busy bowling the night, so just me and Stephen for previewing the Kilmarnock game. Some run Kilmarnock have been on. I mean, Steve Clarke going to be nominated for Manager of the Year, arguably should win it.
Neil Lennon's been nominated as well, though.
Yeah,
and to be fair, I think if we finish second, there's no argument that he deserves it.
I don't know the way, but then you look at where Kilmarnock were and where they are now.
You look at where Hibs were last season and where they are now.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a tough one.
There's no doubting, right, that Steve Clarke's a cracking manager and he's done absolute wonders for Kilmarnock. But for them to reach the top six, it's already an overachievement. For us to reach the top six, I think it was at the start of the season a realistic possibility with Lennon in charge and what Hibs fans' expectations were for the year. So I mean, I wouldn't disagree if Clarke got it, but the fact that we've exceeded all expectations, come in, we're still pushing for second. Kilmarnock, they lost against Aberdeen last week at home. The points will start to slip. Obviously, I reckon that we'll take 3 points off them this week with a cheeky wee 4-0.
You have to get your 4-0 prediction in. If we win, then we go 10 points ahead with
3 games.
3 games to go. So that would confirm second place. Mathematically confirm it.
It would confirm minimum of 4th place.
Getting ahead of myself. I wish that was the case. No, sorry. It would confirm 4th place and mean Kilmarnock couldn't catch us. If Kilmarnock do pick up the win, they would then be
4 points behind.
4 points behind us with 3 games to go, and we've got.
They've still got Celtic.
They've still got
still got Hearts.
Yeah.
Still got Rangers at Ibrox.
So what's your thinking? Are we?
I'd confidently say right now that we're guaranteed at least 4th place.
I don't know if I'm that confident. I think a draw would be enough to say, right, okay, Kilmarnock aren't going to catch us in 3 games, but a win would just obviously mathematically rule it out. So that'd be great. So I mean, they've been on a great bit of form up until the last game. They got beat 2-0 off Aberdeen. Aberdeen had a few players returning to the team. The likes of McLean, Logan, Shinnie. So I think that kind of shows that they are a much better outfit.
Kilmarnock were with Jordan Jones as well, to be fair.
Right.
So,
is he back?
I couldn't tell you if he's back. I don't know if he was suspended or injured or whatever, but I'd probably fancy him to be back for the rest of the run-in.
Good research here from Hibs Talk in terms of the lineups for the weekend. But as you said, they have got a manager who has done a fantastic job this season, and as we talked about in the news, Chris Boyd nominated for Player of the Year along with John McGinn. So do you think that could add any element to the game in terms of, McGinn, Boyd, Lennon and Clarke all being nominated for awards, or do you think they're not going to be interested in that and just be focusing on the game?
To be fair, I think at this stage in the season, awards are they're already predisposed. Like, I think that people in the know will already know who's going to get each award. But I think it'll make the game interesting from a fan's point of view. I think that there'll be a lot of intensity in the game. It will be a back and forth game. It'll not be like the 1-1 draw at Easter Road last time. I think that Hibs are on that run of form now where we don't just sort of sit back for the first 5-10 minutes and give them a go like so many games before, where we were conceding goals in the first 10 minutes. I mean, Boyd scored in the first minute against us at Easter Road last time. The first minute or two.
Sensational goal.
Cracking goal. But the thing is, like, Marciano had just come back into the squad that game. A wee bit rustiness, obviously, shouldn't have let it in, but I think it'll be a really good game on Saturday, and I think that we will definitely pick up the 3 points.
So, I mean, they've got quite a lot of quality players in their team. They've got Kilty, who's just signed a new deal.
Yep.
Jones, who you've mentioned, we'll have to check if he's back or not. Boyd, nominated for Player of the Year.
Stephen O'Donnell.
Malumbu, who's been a sensational signing. So, if you had to pick one as a key danger man to keep an eye on, who would it be?
I think if Jones plays, it'll be Jones. If not, then Boyd. Boyd's top goal scorer in the league. So, I mean, he's obviously gone for that golden boot as well. Fair play to him for a 34-year-old to even think about nearly pushing 20 goals, which is still achievable at his rate in the last 4 games. Hopefully none against us, but I mean, it is possible for him to do it, and I think that'll be in the back of his mind as well. Gets 20 goals, he's guaranteed golden boot. But Hibs have got a lot to prove, and with the last 3 results against Kilmarnock, 2 draws and a win, form's on our side as well.
So to finish up, could this be a really good weekend for us? Aberdeen are at home to Hearts on Friday night, and Celtic are at home to Rangers on Sunday. How, do you see one or two of them dropping points?
I see Rangers, obviously. That's 3 points lost for them. They're 100% losing to Celtic. This statement's just got to be another embarrassment leading up to the game. So I could probably see Celtic winning 4-5-0 easy. Hearts are going up to Aberdeen on a Friday night. I think that'll be a tough game. Hearts are in a bit of good form as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
But they have been a lot better at home than on their travels, though.
But I mean, it was interesting to hear Christoph Berra after the weekend saying that he would be the deciding, Hearts would be the deciding factor as to who finishes second place.
I think
now,
the teams challenging for second and Kilmarnock and Celtic would have something to say about that.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's just
100%.
Because we're all playing each other.
Yeah,
everyone's got a say in it. Because that's how football works, Christoph Berra.
Well, if that was him saying that, and then them lying down to Rangers like they did at the weekend, then I think that they know that their big brothers are wanting to finish second. But nah, I mean, Hearts are a bit of a nothing team for the end of this running. I can see Aberdeen picking up the points there, just like we'll pick them up in 2 weeks' time. But Rangers will definitely drop points, and if they drop points and we get the points against Kilmarnock, that's us up to third.
I think if you offered me third right now, I'd probably take it.
I think anybody apart from me would have taken third. I'm
excited for the possibility second, but if you said guaranteed third, I'd take it, especially because I think it would be above Rangers.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no way that Rangers have got to fall below Aberdeen.
Our game up at Pittodrie is probably the biggest game we've got left now, between now and the end of the season.
That's it. Got the tickets sorted for that.
Other than saying that, I think they're all massive games because Rangers, the last game of the season, could be. Yeah. I can't see us being that far apart from them come that game. So, it's going to be an interesting run-in, and yeah. So thanks to Dave earlier on for coming along, and thanks Stephen.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll speak to you again next week. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. Remember to find us on social media. Just search at HFC Talk or just type in Hibs Talk, and it's the same for the likes of where if you want to find us in the podcast places such as iTunes, Spotify, and all good podcast players. And you can also find us on YouTube as well. Thanks again, folks.